with Kiana. I did. I've shared my story a few times. Never on the front end, always on the back end. I think for a little while there, I just wasn't ready. I genuinely just wasn't ready for a lot of reasons. But I am not held bound, controlled. My emotions are not tampered with by this nigga no more. That been stopped being the case for me. I want to be clear about that. This nigga does not control my emotions. He does not manipulate the way that I feel. Kiana telling lies about him does not manipulate the way that I feel anymore. That stopped. It's been at least 2, maybe 3 years. He does not control me. However, like I said a moment ago, I do find it absolutely deplorable that a grown woman would take it upon themselves to attempt to tell my story, and in doing so, make a nigga who got put in prison for touching a child, a 6-year-old child, for all some sort of deity. I think it's weird. Okay? So let's be clear about a few things. But she can't. Like I said a moment ago, this story does not get under my skin anymore. Okay? It does not. So that's not what this is. Okay? But I'm going to be very clear. Because apparently I wasn't clear enough. One, he got 15 years, not 11. I don't know what the fuck she talking about or where the fuck she got that from, but he got 15 years. And I put him there, okay? In 2022. I put him in prison in 2022. Okay? That's the first thing. That's number one. All right? Number two. I don't know where the fuck she getting from that I told my mama that it was okay to remarry this nigga. I did not. I don't even know why she's spreading that rhetoric or whatever the fuck it is she keeps saying. It didn't happen. Okay? Number three. No, I was not the only person that it happened to, but like her, you're not going to be able to tell her story for her either, Kiana. So I don't know why you keep going up in boxes attempting to tell a story that you don't know anything about. You got enough going on. You need to focus on that. Not this bullshit ass nigga who decides to touch children. But it seems that Kiana has a habit of trying to become friends with all abusers that she runs across their victims. It's very weird and disturbing. You want to, exactly, Squirrel. She want to tell everybody else's story except for the story of her own children and how they don't like her and how they can't stand her and how they feel mentally abused by their own mother, emotionally abused by their own mother. I don't know why she won't take the time out to tell that story, yet she thinks it's important to try to tell mine. It is weird. Okay? But nevertheless, here we are. Now, like I said a moment ago, I have told this story before on the back end a few times, and I think I decided I was just too emotional, really. Like, it still had me. It still had me. This nigga ain't got me in no bind no more. Let's be clear about that. This nigga does not have me in a bind anymore. All right? Now, with that being said, 6 to 16, almost 17 actually, I was a victim of a lot of stuff by my then stepfather. All right? I was raised in the church. The family all said, he was extra. He got to work out his demons. They prayed for him. When I told him what he didn't nobody want to put him in jail, so he didn't go. I turned 17. I graduated high school at 17. I moved out of my mama's house. When I did that, I started stripping. And while I was out on the road, I came home and I filed a report to try to get him put in jail. They called him to do like one of them little setup call things. He didn't answer the phone. I didn't hear anything else about them putting him in jail anymore. I implored them to call my mama, to talk to my mama, because she would tell them what he did to me, because he had already, said what he did to me in the church with my grandma and my granddaddy and a whole bunch of people, my mama, my auntie, me. So I knew that if they got my mama on the phone, my mama would tell them what he did to me, is what I thought. Come to find out later on, they did get on the phone, and she said she didn't even know what they was talking about. Craziest thing ever. Anyways, I turned 17. I filed a report. I didn't hear anything back from the report. When I turned, I was pregnant with Lena. Lena 8. I just turned 36, so 28. I was 28 or so. That story that she keep telling about her little cousin, I guess they do tie in, so I got to tell it. So I got a little cousin who, he's a boy. He is, at the time, he was, I think, 18, maybe just about to be 19, something like that. And his girlfriend was 17 and a senior in high school. They met in high school. He was a senior, she was a junior or something like that. Well, now he's graduated, she's a senior. The girl gets pregnant, and she's telling everybody that the baby is my cousin's, my 19-year-old cousin's. Nope, it was the other way. My cousin was still in school. He was in high school. He was the senior. She was out. She was 19. He was 17. My family decides to tell the girl that if she don't have an abortion, that they were going to file charges against her for being a offender because my cousin was 17 and still in high school. So I reached out to my mama when I found out about it, and I told her, I was like, did you hear that our family is saying that they're going to press charges on this little girl? This is weird. And she was like, yeah, I heard. And I said, so if you heard, can you tell them to stop? This is ridiculous. Why would we be threatening her? That doesn't make any sense to me. And she said to me, if it wasn't the law, then they wouldn't be able to do it. Like, if the law didn't say it, then they wouldn't be able to do it. So as long as it's the law, it's right. And that shocked me because, what? Bitch, don't the law say that my stepdaddy supposed to be in jail? Like, I'm so very fucking confused. Like, color me confused. So I immediately, I was actually working at a prison back home. And I worked night shift. So when I called my mama, it was like 7 a.m. And I was headed home from work. And I stopped at the sheriff's office. As a matter of fact, we was in the middle of COVID. So I couldn't even go inside the sheriff's office. I just had to stand outside and wait for an officer to come out. And I explained to the officer that when I was 17, I came up here and I filed a report and nothing ever got done. So I want to know, what is it that could be done, because my stepdaddy supposed to have been in jail and it's the right thing to do. That's what my mama said, that if it wasn't the law, like if it wasn't the law, then it wouldn't be the right thing to do. So it got to be the right thing to do to put his ass in jail, right? Like, I'm confused as to how I've been sitting next to you this whole time and you making excuses for this nigga, but now when it's my cousin, you want to try to put this little girl in jail. So the police officer asked me for my name. He asked me to write another report because he said he couldn't find mine. And I did. I wrote another report, gave him all of my information that I put on the first report that I could remember, because it was like 10 years before that, 11 years before that. And about a week later, I got a phone call from the state attorney's office telling me that they found the old report, and that because the old report and the one that I wrote 11 years later, without having even seen the old report, were almost identical, they were choosing to pick up the case and investigate. So I'm like, oh, really? Okay, interesting. Of course, they reach out to my cousin and all the people that I named and all the things, and my grandma and my granddaddy, and they basically end up putting his ass in prison because, of course, he did just what the fuck I said he did. So I'm not sure where Kiana is getting the rest of her bullshit ass story. I don't know where it's coming from or why she keeps telling it, but it's untrue. He was looking at 4 life sentences and took a plea deal. It took him about a year. We went around in circles for maybe a year and a half. And then eventually he took a plea deal because he was looking at 4 life sentences, 2 for me, 2 for my cousin. Because we both were underneath the age of 12. His information is right here on the screen. You're free to go and pull it up. I don't have a reason to lie. So the 15 years was the plea deal. As a matter of fact, I was asked about the plea deal and what I was willing to allow him to take. And I told them that he took 15 years of my life. And so I want those back from him at a minimum. If we're not going to go for the gusto and put him in there for life, if you're going to offer him a plea deal, the only thing that I'm okay with is the 15 years that he took away from me. And he agreed to the plea deal, and he took the 15 years that he took away from me, and he is currently locked up. Now, the whole thing about giving my mama permission. Let's go over that really quick. I was pregnant with Elena. This was a few months before the whole thing with my cousin, and I ended up going back to the police station. I was pregnant with Elena. And my stepdad, not my mom, this gentleman right here on the screen, called me. And he asked me, he told me that, he knows that things happened in my childhood and he was so sorry for it. And, if there was anything that I needed to talk to him about or any questions that I had or did I want to go to therapy? He did all of those things. And I told him, no, I don't want to go to therapy with you. I'm good. What's up? What do you want? And he said that he wanted my blessing to be able to remarry my mom. And I told him that I wasn't going to be able to do that. Giving you my blessing to remarry my mom is weird to me. I don't know why you would even ask me that, but I can't. I can't do that. To me, that's weird. And the fact that you even asking me that, I asked him, are you and her talking about getting remarried? And he told me no. He said that he hadn't spoken to her about remarriage yet because he was hoping to get my blessing, to which I told him I couldn't do. I did tell him, though, that my mom knew what he did to me. He admitted as much. So if she thought it was appropriate to remarry him, I guess there was nothing I could do about it. But for me, the answer is no. So he said, okay, and he understood and he hung up. My next call was to my mom immediately. And I said, hey, so I just got a phone call from Virgil and I'm real confused. And she's like, what kind of phone call? And I said, he called me to ask me for my blessings to remarry you. And I genuinely don't understand. Are y'all talking about remarriage? She said, girl, no. My baby finna have a little girl. Why would I remarry him? And I said, I know, because you realize that if you do that, you'll never see Lena. Like, you'll never meet her. She'll never know you. Like, you realize the consequences and repercussions of remarrying him, right? And she said, yeah, that it wasn't even about that. It's just she want to be able to be around her grandbaby. So, of course, she's not planning on remarrying him. So I was like, all right. And we pressed forward. So a couple months later, the whole thing happens with my cousin, and I go back to the thing to put him in jail and la-di-da-di-da. A few months after that, because they haven't started the process on him yet. They're just interviewing and making calls and the whole thing. A few months later, my mama is on the phone, me and her on the phone talking, and she's getting all dressed up. I mean, dressed up. She don't usually get dressed up like this. So I asked her, what are you getting all pretty and up to do for? What the hell is going on? And she said to me that she was going to go to dinner for her 1-year anniversary. And I was like, 1-year anniversary? And she said, yeah. And I'm like, 1-year anniversary with who? Like, what is going on? And she tells me that a year before, she remarried my stepfather. So that blessing that he was asking me for, they had already gotten married. And I think what he was trying to do was ensure that it wasn't going to upset me to the point that I was going to go back to the police and have his ass put in jail because of what he did. Because at that time, the law still existed, that there wasn't they opened it back up for victims, that there wasn't like a deadline on when victims could report. And he knew that. So he was trying to ensure that it wasn't like a deadline on when victims could report. And he knew that. So he was trying to ensure that it wasn't going to piss me off to the point that he was going to go to jail. But they had already gotten remarried and I didn't know. So when I found out, of course, I was upset and I told her, like, this is odd because, I'm having a little girl. And they had already gotten remarried and I didn't know. So when I found out, of course, I was upset and I told her, like, this is odd because, I'm having a little girl. Found out, of course, I was upset and I told her, like, this is odd because, I'm having a little girl. My bad. My bad, y'all. Um, my bad. My bad, y'all. So when I talked to her, she told me that the reason she remarried him, her whole purpose in remarrying him, was that my stepdad is a veteran and he served over 20 years in the military. And because of his service in the military, he was offered like a $750,000 grant for a home, a bill of some sort that he qualified under. And she didn't want to rent anymore. She wanted to be a homeowner. And that was a way for her to get her home. Y'all still can't hear me? Y'all still can't hear me? Okay. She told me that the purpose of remarrying him was because in order for her to have her name on her home, she and him would have to get remarried. And then that way she and him would have to get remarried. And then that way she could use his $750,000 toward the $1.2 million house that she's now living in. And I told her that she will be now living in it alone as far as me and my children are concerned. That I was done with her. And I have been ever since. So for me, I'm not chasing a relationship with a damaged person. It took me so long to not be a damaged person that I've learned that that's something that she got to work out for herself. And so the last time I spoke with her, I told her that he's in prison, but she didn't help with that at all. She didn't want to testify. She didn't want anything. My grandparents came and told they did a testimony with the state attorney's office, and they told the truth about what happened in that church that day where he admitted to what he had done to me. But my mama didn't. And I told her, this is actually sometime last year, probably right after Mother's Day. And I told her that, she definitely owes me a conversation, an explanation. And as long as she is still Mrs. Melvin, Dr. Melvin, as a matter of fact, my mama is a doctor. As long as she is still Dr. Melvin, my children will never know her. I mean, she raised my son, so I guess he knows who she is, but he doesn't have contact. And my daughter has no idea that she even exists in this world. Because like I said, I was pregnant when I found out that they got remarried. So that she even exists in this world. Because like I said, I was pregnant when I found out that they got remarried. So I don't know what Kiana's purpose is in trying to tell lies about my story. So I don't know what Kiana's purpose is in trying to tell lies about my story. I have no idea. But that is it in its entirety. I don't know where jealousy of a grown-ass woman whose husband was sleeping with her 6-year-old child comes in. I don't know where approval to remarry my abuser comes in. None of that ever happened. I'm not sure why she's so obsessed with my story. Like, I'm not. I think, 8 out of 10 women share a story, I'm sure, very much like mine. So there isn't anything just so exciting there that is a necessity for her to be spreading panel to panel. But there it is. I'm no longer ashamed. I don't live in shame for what this grown ass man did to me. And I'm not defined by what I went through as a child. Not anymore. I think I used to be. I think I used to be quite angry. But I'm not angry anymore. I'm not. I've actually forgiven my stepdad for what he did. I think I had to in order to be able to move on. I've even thought about someday looking him in his face and telling him that. And I just haven't gotten around to it, the honest truth. But I'm not controlled by it any longer. I'm not. I remember a time where I used to boo-hoo cry telling my story. But I'm not where I used to be. And I have God to thank for that. And God sending me Papa, so God again to thank for that. I think, honestly, I've been over what he did, but what I had to finally get over was my mama and how she didn't think that it was important to, like, protect me. And I think I do a damn good job think that it was important to, like, protect me. And I think I do a damn good job protecting, know what that feels like, you know? So I make sure that the two that I pushed out, who is my job to protect, know that I will flatline. I will legit flatline about them. And I know that they know it. Shit go on at school, and Ashton will tell a teacher real quick, do not make me call my mama. If I get my mama on this phone, y'all are going to be very upset that I had to call this lady. Like, crazy about my two. And so I think that's really all I can do as a mom, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend, is focus on making sure that I am healing every day, pouring into my children and not let them become a product of what the fuck I went through every day. You know, that's how I think I have taken kind of what happened and made it in, lemons into lemonade, for lack of better words, I guess. But what I am not okay with is I haven't until now told y'all, really what went down. And so Kiana coming on here and spreading rhetoric that just isn't true, and I've never even had an opportunity to speak with y'all about it, is what's not okay with me. So I just wanted to be clear about me, and who I am and what created who I am. So yeah, there's that. So I hope y'all enjoyed my TED Talk. That's about it. Anybody want to write him? There he is. Kiana, I'm sure, wants to visit and hang out. So there he is, Kiana. If you want to visit and hang out and go and tell people he's a great guy, there he is. So go visit him, girl. I don't know. You might see my mama there. She there every weekend. She there every Saturday morning. Go sit with him. I don't know what else to tell you, child. But there it is. There is the story that Kiana keep trying to tell incorrectly. So I hope that provided enough clarity on what the fuck she keep lying about. And I think that's my TED Talk for the day. So, all of the fallacies, I hope, are cleared up there. Miss Capricorn, did you get it? I love y'all too. Oh, there's another one I need to clear up. I don't know what the fuck Kiana is talking about. I still ain't heard Glock say I told her that. But I ain't never told Glock, Kiana, and nobody else that I hate the fucking JJs. That shit is weird. I'm a grown-ass motherfucking woman. So if I hated the people that were around me, I would get them the fuck from around me. I know how to do that. My block button works just fine. Okay? My block button is my block skills is top tier. Okay? So let me be clear about that too. Never said that. Don't know where the fuck that even came from, why her and Glock are doing that. I would assume that Kiana is doing it because she still ain't been able to get a platform up off the ground. And she been on here 3 times as long as I have. She still ain't popping. That skin just flapping around here and ain't nothing came from it. You got a whole mug shot like this nigga and nothing to show for it. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Why am I looking at Virgil? Oh, it's a long story. I'll tell you later. Bitches just think they can tell my story better than me, and I don't know why, because I'm not ashamed of my story. I just think that everything has a time. Tell you later. Bitches just think they can tell my story better than me, and I don't know why, because I'm not ashamed of my story. I just think that everything has a time and a place, you know? Everything I needed to be whole before I brought what Virgil did to me to the internet. You know? What Virgil did to me to the internet. And I honestly, I've been okay for a little bit, but I think I just wanted to be sure. And I'm okay. I don't think that Kiana should be able to tell my story for me. And I'm okay. I just don't think that I have come a long way. I've come such a long way. They don't know though, because they don't know me. You know me. You know how far I have come. You know I used to not even be able to look at this face without like completely separating from myself, breaking down, you know? Be able to look at this face, myself breaking down, you know? I think this situation did contribute to me stripping. I told myself breaking down, you know? I think this situation did that, so I want to make sure I put that out. I wanted control of my body back. I wanted to be able to say that, so I want to make sure I put that out. I wanted control of my body back. They when, who, how you could touch me. I wanted to be able to decide for myself. And stripping allowed me how you could touch me. I wanted to be able to decide for myself to do that, to tell you no, to get up and walk away when I don't want to even be around you no more, to be able to, I think my childhood, because I was a kid who didn't, to be able to, I think, who didn't understand that I could say no or felt like my no's would not have been heard, and they weren't when I finally did this, who didn't understand that my no's would not have been heard and decided to say no, or finally did realize that I could and I wasn't scared no more. They fell on deaf ears. And so I think in stripping, I was able to take back ownership of my own body. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody out there, but that's what it felt like. It felt like ownership of my own body. That's what it felt like. It felt like control, like I had got it back. And so I did tell her, you know, that I feel like I was stripping because I wanted my body back. I wanted to own it myself. Yeah. But I think that's it. Other than that, I'm in North Dakota. I don't even remember who she said I'm working for in North Dakota, but yeah. I think that's it. Other than that, I don't even remember who she said I'm working. So there's that. Oh, nothing to be proud of, I promise. It's a lot of work. So there's that. Oh, nothing to be proud of. It's a lot of work, but those of you who've been through it and understand that you wake up every day and you just do the work because you understand that nobody else is going to do it for you. Papa can tell y'all, there was a lot of days I didn't want to do the work. A lot of days I didn't want to do the work. I didn't even want to get out of the bed. I didn't want to eat. But I'm not there. I'm just not. I'm not where I used to be. I'm not there. I'm just not. I'm not where I used to be. Hey, Shady baby.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you.
I love you too. I love you too. It is something. You could have been as bitter as Kiana and chose to be better. We love you. I love you too. Kiana and chose to be better. We love you. I love y'all too. I was bitter. Kiana got to work through. I think Kiana is on the other side of this whole thing, though. Like, I think that Kiana is miserable not because of what she went through, but the other side of this whole thing, though. Kiana is miserable not because of what she went through, but because she wasn't able to get over it in time enough to actually be a decent mama to her children. She wasn't able to get over it in time enough to actually be a decent mama to her. I think that Kiana's disdain with herself has a lot to do with the fact that she could. I think that with herself has a lot to do with the fact that she couldn't heal from whatever happened to her in time enough to not pour it over onto her kids. You know? And I hate that for her, that she's so miserable that she doesn't even have the opportunity to take time to heal because she has decided to lay full force into her misery, you know? Like, I genuinely pity her. I pity her. Kiana has a weird obsession with SA for some reason. They might need to check her computer. Kiana has a weird obsession with SA for some reason. They might need to check her computer. A mother's love is everything. To not get that hurts. I think I did not feel loved by my mama. I just think that when it came to not feel loved by my mama and to show it and prove it, like, okay. I think as parents, we all know and to show it and prove it. Parents, we all know when something is wrong. That's also something I told Kiana, so I can say that too, because the bitch will say it for me. I think as parents, we all know when something is wrong. And I remember for the first time it happened, I was probably 9, maybe 10, 5th grade, whatever, however old it is. I think 9 or 10. And we would be riding in the car. She would wait until it was just her and I. And she started taking me with her to get my nails and toes done and stuff like that. And she would wait until it was just, and she started taking me with her to get my nails. We would be riding in the car and she would ask me if anybody was touching me. Now, she only had one man, this one in this picture. So I'm not sure who she meant by me, if anybody was touching me. Now, one man, this one in this picture, anybody. But she would ask, is anybody touching me? And instead of answering her, I would just start crying. I mean, that cry that is like, ask, is anybody touching me? Just start crying. I mean, you can't even catch your breath crying. And I never said no, but she would assume no. And I never understood that. She would be like, if ain't nobody touching you, why you crying? If ain't nobody touching you, why you crying? But I never said nobody was touching me. I just was crying. So I thought that was a little weird. But I knew that she knew because she kept asking. She would always ask. And I would always that was a little weird. Knew because she kept asking, always cry. And so I knew that she had a feeling that something was going on with me. And of course, that it had to be her husband. So I knew that she had a feeling, and of course, that it had to be her husband. But I could never prove it. And then I remember when I was 17, and then I remember, and I was 16 or 17. I was in high school, senior year. I was on the swim team all 4 years in high school. And he came to pick me up I was 16 or 17. I was on the swim team all 4 years in high school, swim team practice. And I got inside the van, and he was driving home. And he took his privates out, and he started the van. And he took his privates out, and he started playing with them. And when we got home, and when we got pulled up to the house, his pants were still, and when we got pulled up to unbuckled, and his stuff was still out of his pants. So I jumped out of the car and I ran in the house as fast as my feet could take me. And I said, you gotta come right now, you gotta come right now, because I knew that he was still, trying to get it together outside. So I ran in there and I told her, come. So I made her come outside, trying to get it together outside. So I ran in there and I told her, and when she came outside, he was just trying to pull himself together. Like it was still halfway not together. He was just trying to not together. And so she was asking him what the fuck is this? What are you doing? So that's when I started saying, on my way home from school, he was touching himself. I seen it. It was out of his pants. And, really telling it. And she put him out. But that night before she put him out, I was standing at the room door listening, and she was boo-hoo crying to him, telling him, you promised that you wouldn't do it. You promised that it would never happen again. You promised. You promised that it would never happen again. And I kept thinking to myself, it would never happen again. You promised it would never happen again. What the fuck do she mean? You promised that it would never happen again. Like, what the fuck do you mean? You promised that it would never happen again. Like, you promised that it would never happen again. And that has been stuck in my head. And I asked her about it, and she denied that it ever happened. She said she don't remember that. But she also don't remember a lot of other times I tried to tell her ass. So there's that. But I think she knew. And I think a lot of women don't know how to not have any. And I think a lot of women, anybody, and a lot of women, as beautiful as my mama is, don't feel worthy. I believe that my mama went through some stuff that she's not willing to talk about. Because I even asked her, the whole going back and remarrying him thing, to me, it was weird. And she told me she knew when I was okay. I was like, what the fuck do that mean? And she said she knew that I was like, what the fuck do that mean? She knew I was okay. And that she could do what she needed to do for her to get her house. I think I still question she could do what she needed to do. And that too, to this day. The fuck you mean you knew I was okay? How did I give you the impression that I wasn't okay? Because up until that moment, I was definitely not okay still. So I didn't understand that, but I think she just said that to make herself feel better. It is what it is on that one. So yeah, it is what it is on that one. There it is. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. That is the story. I am okay. That is the story. I am okay now. I am. Do you talk to your mama now? No, I haven't spoken to her. The first conversation that I had with her in, ooh, how old is Lena? 8, so 7 years was last conversation that I had with her in, how old is Lena? 8, so last year. And I think it was just to let her know that the door was still open. Like, he in prison now and there are options. And I think it was just a little open. Like, then a divorce in prison only costs $1. So, if you go ahead and get that done, then dollars. So, maybe we could try to have the conversation that's necessary to so that you can be around your grandkids and stuff. But outside of that, nope. Try to have the conversation that's necessary to be around your grandkids and stuff. I haven't spoken to her. I don't call or text. I don't bother her, and she don't call or text me. My family came to call or text. My family came to visit me. I haven't seen them in, oh my God, maybe 5 years. And they all came to Georgia last year. Everybody except her. Everybody in my immediate family except her. So my grandparents, my cousins, everybody came. And she asked, well, she was actually came. And she actually going to just pop up with them. And my grandmother told her that she wasn't okay with that. So she had my grandmother ask me if she could come because she wanted to meet Elena for the first time. And I told her no. So she had my grandmother ask me if Elena for the first time, that I didn't want her to come, that her I didn't want her to come meet my child, and we still haven't had the necessary conversation. You still married to him, going to the prison every guy to come meet my child, and we still haven't had damn two every Saturday and Sunday. No, I'm straight. You can't come. So she didn't come. What was your mental recovery like? Long. Long. Recovery like long. I think I'm still doing it. I don't think you ever really like 100%. I'm still doing it. Or really like 100% recover, right? Like there'll always be innate responses that I have just because of what I went through that I have to then turn around and say, oh, that's my bad. I'm so sorry. I realizing that I'm still kind of dealing with that part of it, I guess. And, like there'll always be little things, but I think you just pick up every day and you go and you do your best not to be what you went through. Have you ever spoke to a therapist? I have several therapists. I have several. I'm not a fan of therapy, but I guess I could say it helped a little bit. It helped me. Not a fan of therapy, but I guess I could say it helped a little. I'm not a fan of therapy, but I guess I could say it helped me process some things. They help me process some things. As far as being a mama, I think therapy helped me with not spilling. As far as being a mama, I think not spilling over on my kids like my mama did to me. I'm a damn good mama. Not spilling. I'm nothing like the mama I had. And so I think therapy definitely helped me with that, because that was like my biggest worry, like how to not be the mama that I had. I think therapy definitely is worry, like how to not be. So yeah, I'm telling y'all, It's a journey. So yeah. But I really am okay. I remember when I couldn't do this without boohoo crying. So was she young having you, AJ? I had my son at the same age that she had me. 20. She had me at 20. So I'm 36. She's currently 56. That's 20. So I'm 36. That's how I know her age. When anybody asks me, well, how old is your mama? I just add 20 to my age because she had me at 20. Night, peer present. He at your prison? Oh, shit. Let me get this shit off the screen. Mister, don't get in there bothering that man, okay? It's fine. I'm fine. He's doing his time. Let him have it, okay? Let him have it. Lord have mercy. I didn't even think of that. That it was going to be somebody in here that fucking know his ass. Didn't think of that. That it was going to be some... Lord. My mother would still be with my monster if she didn't leave her. Oh, you over there in... She didn't leave her. In the Q dorm. Q and P and you over on that side. That's where I was when I was there too. I used to be a nurse there. I don't know if you remember. Q dorm. Q and where I was when I was there too. Or how long you've been there, but I used to be a nurse. Well, it was a travel assignment, but I re-signed like twice. Be a nurse. Well, it was a travel assignment, but I was P dorm, see? 6 years. Hold on. Hold on. I might know you. Oh, damn, I can't see the page from here. If you've been in P dorm for 6 years, I know you. It wasn't 6 years ago I was out there on assignment for a long time. Do you know me? Years ago I was out there on assignment. Hold on, let me take this tag off. Do you know me? I hate that he used to play me so close and he knew what he was doing the whole time. Oh my God, that was your dog. And I never said a word. And I knew you would have. Oh my God. I just never said a word. How long did it get? He started when I was 6. It ended when I was like almost 17. So a little over 10 years. What shift you on? Night shift. No, there I did days. I only did nights like when they needed me. But there I did days. You know how out in the Q dorm, they have all them little pockets that you put the pills in? I'll go out there and do mine and then put the pills in the pocket for night shift and then go back to Q dorm and do rounds. You don't remember me? I remember that YT lady that used to sleep with all of y'all. She was real old and she was hunching every last one of y'all. You know what I'm talking about? And on night shift, the nurse, I remember her. Yes, I know Jackson and Dodson. Yes. You remember the what? Yes. 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 I'm telling you, that's why I was at. That's why I said, oh, you over there with Q and R and P. Because that's where they put the transsexuals and then mental health is the other two. Yeah. That's crazy. I got to take a screenshot of your page so I could come back and go look at it because I can't see it from here. But I believe I might know you. Because if you was with Dotson and, yeah. I know them. She in dorm now? She over there fucking all the CEOs again. She over there fucking all the CEOs again. She used to give y'all that cat, baby. And y'all used to love it. I'ma inbox you my name. Okay. Y'all used to love that little YT cat, that little old cat. I don't know what she had over y'all. Y'all was taking that cat through the she had over y'all. Y'all was taking that. No, she wasn't fucking no inmates that I knew of, cause she was fucking all of the COs. All of them was fucking her. That he said, hell yeah, she was getting enough dick from the COs. They was all splitting her ass. Not you, okay? They was taking her through there. Sis was getting. They was getting. Ooh, they was taking her through there. Yeah. Ooh, they was taking her through there. I almost called her name. Be smoking all them damn cigarettes. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy, Deja. Wait, what Leon said? I would have killed her. Oh my goodness. I know you would have. And that's probably why I didn't tell you. I would have killed her. Oh my goodness. Probably why I didn't tell you. Because I couldn't handle you trying to do something crazy and I hadn't even told my mama them. Probably why I didn't tell you. My mama them. Hey, bro, you remember the you remember the you remember the lady they caught hunching the inmates, the one that they found, they went and they did the blue light in the room and her booty was on the desk. And they got all of her pictures out of the man dorm room. You remember that? The lady they caught hunching the inmate. And she got caught in the med room. They caught her. Yeah, they got her photo in the Listen, I was there for that. I remember walking in. Listen, I was there for the work, and they had all of her pictures on that little desk in Q dorm. When you first walk in, they got that desk right there. They had all of her pictures they had all of her pictures on that. When you first walk in, they got that desk right there, splayed out all over the desk. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And they was like, the nurse, they named her. Oh, I almost called her name too. And I was like, what the fuck is this? The nurse, they named her. Oh, I almost fucking the inmate, and they caught her, and then they searched his dorm, and they found all of they got the chick from the chow hall. The one that was bringing the stuff. And then they searched his dorm, and they found the chick from the chow hall. You remember when they got that dude that had put that stuff in the garbage can in the bathroom? You remember when they got that dude that had Nurse Blue? Yeah, yeah. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That they call him. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, they caught these people already. That's why we talking about it. They caught these people already. Caught these people already. That's why we talk. That's so crazy how small this world is. She got in trouble because the inmate got a tattoo of her name on his neck. That's so crazy how small. She got in trouble because, listen, I almost called the inmate name. That Haitian dude. You know what I'm talking about? The little Haitian one. That's the one you talking about? The little young boy that had life. I told her ass he was gonna have her caught up because she stayed over there in his face. Her little pretty self. She done went and got her body did it. Everything. Sis look good. You done seen her? She done look good. She done went and got her body did and everything. I said, you had a great body, but she went and got a little bit more titty and some more booty and baby, sis is pressure. Who paid for it? Not him. You motherfucking lying. You motherfucking lying. Fucking lying. You mother. You lying. Did they take her license? Did they take her license? I. Did they take her license? Did they take her? Usually when phone number and photos of the cat. But listen, whenever they told us that when they catch us, if they catch us doing some shit like that they was gonna take our license and have us put in jail because it's like against the law. It's illegal because those inmates are property of the state. Have us put in jail because inmates are property of the state. She went for jail for like 3 days and the license got snatched. Okay. She was just an LPN though. Yeah. I remember her. She was so pretty. I remember her. She was so pretty. I told her ass so many times, leave that little boy alone. Why? Every time I work, I don't have no problems with his med pass. I pass the meds, I keep it moving. Every time you work, it's an issue. He always in the damn med room. Something always wrong. Ooh, I told her ass. Always in the damn med room. Something all. Ooh, I told that little motherfucker. I knew something was up. She's like, AJ, I ain't, I said, okay. I knew, I said, okay. I had a funny last name then, though. They called me Nurse W because I had that long-ass African last name. Now she a no-no in, right? Jail for 3 days is crazy because they told me we could get up to 2 years. So jail for 3 days, she got lucky. Yeah, I'm a janitor. You sent me your name? Hold on. Hold on. Let me look. Shut the fuck up. And you don't remember me? I'm gonna inbox you when I get off of here. That's so crazy. Smallest world ever. Smallest world ever. Craziest thing ever. I'm gonna inbox you when I get off of here. Oh man. It is. It's like a reunion, bro. Oh man. It is. It's like a reunion, bro. That shit crazy. When he said he at my prison and I looked down and saw, I hadn't even paid attention to where they sent Virgil. I looked down and saw what color. I'm like, wait a minute. It is. It's like a reunion. Bro. I even paid attention to where they sent Virgil. A minute. That's where I was at. Child. Let me ask you a question. Is they doing him bad out there? Because I got word doing him bad out there. That they found out he was a chomo and it ain't looked good for him since. That they found out he was a chomo. And I thought they put all of the chomos over there with you. And like, don't they put them out there over there with the trans in dorm? Nah, it's turning into a pity camp now. Oh, so they ain't doing what they used to do to them. Cause baby, they used to run them all up and through there. Oh, they in K dorm now. Okay. So yeah, they done mixed it up a little bit. Hey, Muffin. They done mixed it up. Hey, Muffin. They done mixed it up. Well, I'll be damned. Well, Miss Capricorn, please don't hesitate to post it. Because Miss Capricorn, because I'm sick of the false narrative and the bullshit. I appreciate y'all. I'm headed back to clean floors. Because I'm sick of the false narrative and the bullshit. Appreciate y'all. I'm headed back to y'all be good out there. Okay. Leon, you still in here? There. Okay. Leon, you still in here? Night, Erica, baby. Night, Erica, baby. Leon, are you still in here? How you know Full Rex? Not he kind of cute. Arrest me, Ossifer. Leon, are you still in here? Are you still in here? Okay, he left. I wanted to tell him something. Anyways, I love y'all. There ain't nothing y'all can do about it. I'm saying thank y'all to everybody that came in the room tonight, sat with me while I told my story. I appreciate y'all more than y'all know. Hope that you won't let no more lies get spread in your ears that you even think about believing, because I don't have time for that bullshit. I love and appreciate each and every last one of y'all. I really do. And I'm glad that I took the time to actually do this tonight. It was actually healing in a lot of ways. First time out in action. Y'all have a good night. Go be bad somewhere, okay? Go be real bad. I don't think Gracefully Thrive and know she coming up here. Bye, y'all. I don't think y'all.